Are you ready? All right.
Oh, he's nervous. Look at him. He's perspiring, nervous. He has jitters.
All right, ready?
Focus.
All right, welcome to the Man of Matter podcast. My name is Alberto,
And I'm Randy.
and with us today is a special guest, Chris Garcia. All right, so the topic for today's episode is about God and religion. So, Randy, how were you raised when you were growing up, like religiously,
I was raised a Catholic.
throughout your whole life?
Yeah.
And have you been going to church your whole life?
I've been going up to church up to pretty much my whole life. But then these last few years I haven't gone. I stopped going to church.
How come?
Because I just believe in God. I don't think you don't have to go to church necessarily to honor God. Like you could just believe in God and honor Him in your own way. I don't think it's necessary for you to go to church dedicate your whole life to God and go to church every Sunday or every Saturday.
Do you feel like believing in God and praying that's enough for most people?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Or at least for me it is. Like for me.
Has your belief in God ever wavered? Like sometimes you don't believe in Him?
No.
Never?
No.
There's never been an instance where you've been depressed or sad or you're going through something and is God real? And you question it?
No.
Wow. That's pretty good.
I know God is real, but I just said there's some things that don't make sense, that I've questioned about, because the way religion teaches you that Jesus is God.
Mm-hmm.
So then I'm just how can Jesus be God? How did He create Himself? It has to be.
But isn't He the Son of God?
Yeah, exactly.
So He's not God.
But Alberto's the Holy Trinity, Alberto. Right? Jesus represents God, the Spirit.
Uh-huh. But He's not God Himself, right?
Yes, Alberto. Yes. That's what the churches teach, Alberto.
But is that what the Bible says?
Alberto, yeah. Alberto, Jesus is the Son of God, but He also says that it's the Holy Trinity, Alberto.
Right. God, Jesus, and the Holy Spirit?
Yeah.
But they're separate entities, aren't they?
Yeah.
So what are you trying to say?
Alberto. they're separate entities, Alberto. Right?
Yeah.
But
I'm trying to get it to your point. What's your point?
What's my point?
Yes.
I just believe in God, Alberto. That's my point.
All right, Chris. Same question to you. How were you raised? What was your religion when you were growing up?
Growing up, I was. Excuse me, sir.
Just put it right there in the middle. You don't have to move it.
Yeah, Chris, don't hog it.
All right. So growing up, I was raised Catholic.
Mm-hmm.
So every Saturday, Sunday, with music, but usually Sundays was our day. We go to church for mass.
Mm-hmm.
My family and God also saints.
Mm-hmm.
So they worship saints and also God.
Mm-hmm.
My grandma actually was the one that actually brought me to church with her. That's when I started to follow more, Christ.
Mm-hmm.
Eventually, once she I did my communion and everything in a church called St. Anthony's. Once she passed away, that's when I started to question God, why is this happening, to our lives? She was a great person. She died from cancer. Why is this happening? So my religion and belief was questionable.
And that was when your grandma died?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. When was it?
In 2018.
Oh, okay.
So for a few years, I was back and forth. But prior to that, I went to a Christian church,
Mm-hmm.
which really opened my eyes. I feel like the Christian church is more eye-opening in a sense. They sing, they talk, and they just invite you with so much welcoming over a Catholic church, which was a priest, mass, and you gotta, like, I guess paying your sins, by saying like Hail Mary and Our Fathers, while you go to a Christian church and they'll baptize you, and then they'll make you like, okay, now it's your chance to be reborn, and then any sins they keep doing it turns to a habit. That's why you gotta change your whole demeanor after that.
Okay. So that was in 2018. That was the only time you like questioned your faith.
For a few years, I stopped praying. I stopped going to church, and then eventually, like, somehow, like, God was always there with me, like giving me signs, but I just ignored it. I think recently when I got married, that's when like I started to just focus more a little bit on it. But I think now being separated, it really involved me into my life. Like it showed me a lot. Like that God's there with you through everything. Like He'll give you the test, the task, and you gotta do it yourself. I feel like now I'm more closer to Him than I ever was in my entire life.
Wow.
Because everything that I experienced from the past, and also like that I dealt with recently last year. So
you feel like He helped you a lot through that whole.
It did, it really did. Like I was down and out, and like I said before, like God will test you, but He's quiet when He tests you. I mean, like you can't speak, like until you're ready, and that's when like right now this is our test. So for the past 8 months, I was dealing with ups and downs, but no, I have my family, I have my friends. We guys also have God there. But now I feel like a brand new person. Honestly, God, like I feel better than I ever was in my entire life. Like I feel reborn. I feel like recreated. I feel like this new Chris. And that's really truly a blessing in disguise.
Wow,
yeah,
that's awesome.
It is.
Yeah, I remember in the last year it was rough.
It was.
You were going through a very bad time.
It was. But that's what God does that for a reason, to test you and to see your strength, how much you have faith in Him, because His strength will provide anything for you. So it's important.
Wow.
To have God in your life always, no matter what.
Do you pray every day?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I pray every morning when I wake up, every night. I pray before I eat, to be grateful for what I have, my friends, my family, like the meals that you have, because people out there are worse than us. So at least be grateful for something at least in your life, at least food, a job, some money, a home, a roof over your head. So I feel like people take life too serious. You gotta enjoy it to the fullest. With a smile on your face. That's true. Ups and downs will always be there. It's just it takes you to just maintain that focus and go strong.
Yeah, that's true. What do you think about that, Randy?
Very insightful.
Nah, that was good though. Yeah, but for me, I grew up Catholic like you guys.
But but you were, for a very long time you didn't believe in God, right?
Yes, I was getting to that.
Come down. Come on.
I grew up Catholic until maybe I was like 11 or 12, maybe a little bit later, like 14, 15. And then once I started getting depressed and like going through my stuff, that's when I was like, oh, maybe there isn't a God. Like, I didn't believe in Him.
Right.
And then that was until last year when I had my encounter with Him. But there were many times like when I was like suicidal and stuff, I'd be like, even if there is a God, like I would curse His name and stuff. Like why aren't you helping me? Why aren't you doing anything for me?
Yeah.
I'm about to kill myself and you're not doing anything. That's how I felt most of the time. But yeah, my encounter with God last year, it happened in the middle of the night. But before that, it was in the end of 2021 when I was feeling depressed and suicidal again. And it was a point in time where it was like a flip of a coin whether I commit suicide or not. Because I was in Florida then, and there it's like you get a gun pretty much. You can just walk in and get a gun. So I was at a gas station and I was thinking like, all right, maybe I should do this, maybe I shouldn't. And for some reason I'm like, all right, I'm just gonna try one more time. I'm gonna ask my sister for help because I was struggling financially at the time.
Okay.
So then I decided, all right, let me ask my sister for help. And I decided not to do it. And then 3 weeks later is when I had my encounter with God. And I feel like that was His reward for me for not committing suicide. Because I was very close to it. Like, it could have been, I could have just done it. Like, I was so close that
like almost like a grip away, like a grasp away.
Yeah, it was like a grasp away. Like, if I had a different thought for a second, I would have done it.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So I feel like God rewarded me by introducing Himself to me. So I was sleeping, and I think I woke up like around 2 or 3 a.m. and He just grabbed me out of my bed and took me to where He is up there.
Wow.
I never saw Him because He doesn't show Himself. But then He like took me on this journey of how He created like all the planets and all the universe and everything, and how He created like all the stars and like our human beings, all the strands, all the atoms and everything.
Yeah.
I was like, whoa, like what's happening right now?
Alberto, were you high?
No, I wasn't high that day. I was not high that day.
Alberto was going through different dimensions.
I was literally going to different dimensions.
He was like, whoa.
But the whole time I felt at peace and like and loved. Like
Okay.
like He was giving me like a warm hug the whole time.
Yeah.
And then Chris, I told you about the vision He gave me.
Right.
I was at a beach.
Mhm.
He showed me like my current self and then my future self, like talking to each other. My future self like talked to me like I was like healthy. I lost a lot of weight. I was happy. He's like, this is how you could be if you don't have depression, if you don't have anxiety, if you don't have anything that is currently bothering you in the moment. And then my current self said, that's not true. I don't believe you. Like that's impossible. How am I gonna get to where you are?
Yeah.
And that God wants me to do that video, and I'm gonna do it eventually. That's one of the visions that He showed me as well.
Wow.
And then one of the quotes He told me a couple of different quotes. One of them is, "Your will is so free, even I struggle to reach you." And that first I was like, "What does that mean?" Like, I don't understand. But I think thinking over is like, our free will is so strong that sometimes it's hard for Him to talk to us and help us, and we can't hear His voice because we choose not to or we can't. But at the end of the day, it's up to us to decide to listen to Him and hear His voice. So that's what from what I got from what He said. But ever since then, I've had this sense of hope in life. Like I don't feel, there's still times I feel depressed and maybe like sad sometimes, but I never feel hopeless like I used to before. Before I used to always feel hopeless. Every day I would wake up and I would hate waking up. I would hate going to work. I would hate talking to people, doing this and that. I would just hate life. But ever since then, I had a sense of hope and inspiration. But like I said before, I still have my days, where I go through hard times. But I always lean on Him to rise me up.
Right.
So yeah, that's my encounter with God. A former atheist to a big believer.
Former atheist.
Yes.
That's quite a change right there. That's quite a 360.
Yeah, pretty much like complete 180 change.
360, Alberto.
180, Randy.
360.
180.
360.
If it's a
360. Alberto, you
you're
did
right
a
where
complete.
you are.
Alberto, this. Alberto, because it's a full circle. We want to know why? Because you were raised Catholic, right?
Uh-huh.
And then you turned and you became atheist. And now you're back where you were, being raised Catholic.
Well,
360.
Christian now.
Christian.
Christian, Randy.
Alberto, Christianity is. Alberto, Catholic is part of the Christian religion, Alberto.
Whatever.
It's a branch of it. There's many branches of the Christian religion.
How do you know that God is real?
How do I know God's real?
Good question.
That is a good question.
It's a thinker.
Well, I mean, the way I look at it is obviously someone had to have created us, right? Like,
Mhm.
someone had to have create like the way that this world is, like, the trees, the oceans, the animals, the birds, everything. It was God's creation. So I'm like, obviously there has to be a higher being, right?
What do you say to people like, all right, then who created God?
That is a good question.
That's a deep question.
Yeah, that's a deep question. Yeah.
It's like, how can He be real then? Like, who created Him? Or like, how can He have existed like forever, always?
Right.
What about you, Chris? How do you know God is real?
I believe that God is real because He speaks through others, through your hardships, through your positive moments. You might not have a sign at the moment with your eyes, but you can speak through your friends, your family, and through experience. I believe he was there through every person in my life, just giving me signs, and hope and faith and strength through my friends, through my family, even through like certain signs when you're walking down the street or a certain song that pops on the radio. I believe he's speaking to you, and you just have to just take a second to just listen and embrace the moment, and you will see, wow, you know what? I'm glad I knew that because he was talking to me in a way that I couldn't reach him. Like people read the Bible, people pray, and that's their way of communicating. I do that too as well. I feel like I take every sign of him very, very, very to the point that's very critical to me because that's both from negative to a positive. As you both know what I'm going through or been through, I feel like he spoke to people in my life. And he's real, just like he said, nature wise, he created the world. And yeah, I just feel like he speaks. And we just gotta embrace that. And I think it's back to you, the whole question of God, like you can't really there's no history of it. All we know is about Jesus Christ, like a Virgin Mary came out. But to me, like that's our Lord, so we gotta embrace it. We gotta cherish the moments for him. Because I feel like right now for our lives we're doing this for a reason, for all of us. A whole restart, a whole recreation. Like just how he died and recreated himself again on the seventh day, It's the thing for us.
Well, there's debates about that, right? There's different, because we don't know exactly what happened, because the Bible, I'm sure there's that, the Bible teaches us that he died on the cross, but there's another school of thought where they say that Jesus never died on the cross, that he actually got married, he actually had.
Really?
Yeah, they actually he actually had like a family.
Yeah,
You never heard that?
No.
Yeah, they said that there's a school of thought. Well, they said because that the Bible teaches us that he died on the cross, right, and all that, and they're basically saying we don't, since it originates from Hebrew, so we don't it's broken up in translation, so we don't know exactly what happened during that time. So they're saying it's just up to interpretation. So somewhere along the lines they said that I guess the stories changed because we don't know how accurate the Bible is.
Okay.
But there's different
debates
school,
about
there's different school of thought that he never died on the cross. That he was what's it called? He actually went on to get married and he lived a regular life.
So he never died and he never was resurrected?
Yeah.
Wow. Never heard that before.
You never heard that?
No.
Yeah, there's different. They're saying that's that's one of the biggest deceptions in Christianity. That he never died on the cross.
What?
Yeah.
That was dismantle Christianity. If it's true.
It's true. Yeah.
Yeah. That's crazy.
Yeah, because he said that the cross actually symbolizes something else. It's
what?
The cross is like a pagan symbol. It's basically like pagan worship.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to look into that.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah. I was because I know people that were talking about it and they're like, oh yeah, and then recently, what's it called? Recently, when I was walking on the street, those people that they will go out and they start promoting oh hey listen God they try to get you to be part of their church.
Yeah.
So there's this guy, he stopped me, he's like hey, do you believe in God? And I said yeah. And he's like, oh, that's good. He's like I want to share with you a quote here from the Bible. He's like because on the quote, God is our Father, right? I'm like, yeah. And he's like if God is our Father, then there has to be a mother. So he's like, in this Bible here, it tells us that there's a female God, and she's our mother.
He's a Christian?
Huh?
He was a Christian?
Yeah.
Wow.
He's like, oh, it's Dios Madre, and he's like here. It's a verse, a Bible verse from Genesis something, and he's like, why does it say us? Like I forgot what the quote said, but it said something us. And he's like, why does God refer to himself as us? He's like that if God was only one person, then wouldn't he just mention himself? He said, but it's plural, so then he's like, there has to be a female God. He's like, so that's God, our mother. He said, so if we have a father, he said we have to have a mother.
Wow. What do you think about that, Chris?
No words.
No words, because you disagree, or
I mean, I don't know. We don't know.
Never know.
We have to. Have you guys read the Bible entirely?
Yeah.
You did?
That's like that's when we were born. At least got at least read it once in a lifetime. But I mean, like
I haven't read it yet.
I read it. I read it when I was in the military.
You
In
did?
times of struggle, Alberto, when I was depressed, like I'd be like, God, help me get through this, and I just start reading the Bible.
Have you finished the Bible?
Yeah.
Ever?
How about you, bro?
No, I haven't finished it.
I mean, how about your like, is God real for you, and why?
Oh yeah, because of the vision.
The visions?
Yeah, I don't doubt that vision at all. Like I don't question that it's real now because it felt real, and ever since then I've seen nothing but positive things. So
Alberto, and then you said that when you went on this hike, you said that you said you had another vision with God, or what was that about?
Yeah, well, this hike, it was called Legendarios, and it's I think it's in several different countries, primarily in South America, and I think the first one is here in Washington D.C., which is the one I went to. And then
You went to DC? The hike?
Yeah,
I thought it was in Virginia.
it's in Virginia, but then we took a bus to the mountain
Wow.
because there's a church there in Virginia, and then we went to the mountain. But they told us what happens in the mountain stays in the mountain. But I had 2 encounters with God. The first one was, I believe it was the second day, and it was a hike that we did. It was a pretty rough hike. When we got like to the top of the first mountain, God showed me my daughter, and He showed me. I started crying when He showed me that. But He just told me, like, don't forget how to be a good father and to be there for your family. I was like, what happens if you die on this mountain? What's your family gonna be left with? What's your daughter gonna be left with? And I thought about my daughter, like, right now I would leave her with nothing. That's when I started crying. Like, how could I leave my daughter with nothing? Like, her not to remember her father only like through like certain videos and stuff and pictures. But that hit me really hard because, like, what have I been doing in my life up until now? And it kind of woke me up a little bit to stay focused and to continue with my goals. Because while I was on this hike, I was also completing the month 1 of the 90-day challenge.
Yeah.
So, and it's around this time where I get discouraged and I kind of fall back into temptation. So it was a perfect time for me to do this hike and to have an encounter with God. It's like, the motivation.
Otherwise, Alberto would have gone back down.
It could have happened, but there's no way it's gonna happen now. And then it was on the 3rd day where I had a second encounter, and God told me, like, if you keep doing what you're doing and you stay focused on your goals, your life is gonna be irrecognizable from the life you had before. It's gonna be like 10 times better. So you gotta stay focused on your goals, and you cannot give up. And that was just another like powerful moment. Like, damn. And it felt so real, when He told me that. Because I think a lot. Like, that's one of my problems. Is like I'm always overthinking.
Yeah.
So I know when it's God's voice and when it's not. And I haven't heard God's voice since my first vision last year. So it felt really good to hear His voice that one time. So yeah, that was what happened on the mountain.
That's it?
Those are the 2 encounters with God.
That's awesome, bro.
Yeah,
That's cool. Randy?
Yeah. No, Chris. He's like. Do you know what your purpose in this life is?
Ooh, that's a good question. Hold on, let me write that down.
Wait, what was the question?
I said, do you know what your purpose in this life is? Because most people they question, like, they think that that life is just about living, and working and paying bills, and then like they don't see the deeper meaning of that. There's actually there's a purpose behind all of us being here on this earth.
Oh yeah, I think that's a good question.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we should do that.
Yeah.
All right, go for it.
No, I asked Alberto.
Well, during those visions that I had on the mountain with God, he did show me like he showed me giving my testimony at church one time in the future. Yeah.
Nice.
He showed me that, and then with remember the movie that we want to make in the hiking movie? He told me to incorporate him in that as well.
Really?
So I'm gonna have to change things up a little bit.
That's a good idea.
Well, from now on, I'm gonna incorporate him in every movie I make or everything I create.
That makes sense.
Yeah. So it's like to spread the word of God throughout the world.
So
that's one of my purposes. Yeah.
Right, to believe.
Yeah. Especially since I was a former atheist, like I think people hearing my story and seeing what I've been through, it'll inspire people to believe in God.
Absolutely.
Because I feel like a lot of people,
because you've been through it.
I've been through exactly.
You've been through everything.
The lowest points.
Because for most people, the atheism is the rational state of mind.
Yeah. That's like the default way.
Yeah.
To be.
Yeah.
And fun fact, it's actually like the second religion in Europe.
The second biggest.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's growing more. Yeah.
Yeah. The third is Islam
Mm-hmm.
versus Christianity.
Mm-hmm.
So it's pretty up there.
I feel like Christianity is losing some ground.
It is.
We have to make it up.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
What about you, Randy? What do you think your purpose is?
My purpose in this life. I know what my purpose in this life is, Alberto. My purpose in this life is to wake people up to what's actually going on in this world.
Can you explain what you mean by that?
Bro, like I covered that.
Yes, but keep it concise. What do you mean? 1 to 2 minutes.
A nutshell, Randy.
Yeah.
In a nutshell,
Yeah, in a nutshell.
that this world is not what people think it is. You know, that Christianity is like the what's it called, like the common religion, right? That this world is like basically Christianity is like the world's religion.
Mm.
So yeah, and also like basically how the way this life is not what it is. Like what you see is not what it is. There's actually more to this world than meets the eye. But it's people if people are willing to actually see, wake up. Yeah,
That's your purpose, is to wake
there's
people up.
there's a veil covering everybody's eyes right now. Like they think that what we see right now, this world is like, their fake lives. They defend their lives, like that the whole work life. You need to work, grind, pay bills. Is actually what life is all about.
It's not what actually life is about, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I feel like if people have seen our other episodes, they know what you're talking about.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
What about you, Chris Boyle? What do you think your purpose in life is?
Yeah, Chris. What is your purpose in life?
It's to
You guys are gonna kiss.
What the fuck?
see, yeah, there we go. I made it work for him.
What?
The purpose in life for me would be to live and to serve God. Also to love and to have empathy for others. I feel life is too short. Like I said previously. Like God wanted us out of this world, then you've been gone already. Our time's not ready yet. So I think going through everything that we're going through, our waves, ups and downs, our problems, there's always a solution. Always. And God does that for a reason. So I think our purpose in life for all of us is just to live, serve God, embrace love, embrace family, friends, and just try and enjoy what we can every single day. Like us three had this thing, hashtag GHG. So it's God.
What does that mean again?
It's
God healing and goals.
that's like a daily dosage of what we got, embrace every single day. Like it's like I say to you guys all the time, like it's like Bane and Batman, like you pump it up, man, because it's gonna get you that dosage of GHG. And I feel like that really changed our aspect of life. Like you going through your, to your trip, hiking, running and grinding right now, and focusing on self healing, clean myself. I think I purpose to live and serve God always, and but also to embrace what we have. Bring new family to our friend.
So your purpose is just to live
life, to the fullest. Like be high off life. You know what I mean? It sounds
right.
as cheesy as it is.
What do you feel like you have to incorporate to add to humanity? Like you feel like you have a higher purpose to add value to humanity?
I feel like nowadays people lack empathy. You know,
That's true.
That's very true.
They lack, sympathy as well. Being honest with someone. And nowadays, like you see somebody who's, let's say, homeless on the street, you just say fuck off, man. Instead of saying this guy, maybe he's got something. All right, it's cool. Yeah, if you're hungry, okay, I give you food, man. I bring you food as well. Or someone that's going through struggles, in life. Hey, you okay, man? At least like a hug, a pat in the back, for somebody that could change the whole day. Just saying, how are you, sir? How you doing today? Oh, I'm through hard times. Why is that? This is that. They vent to you because they seek that validation. They seek somebody to just hear to listen to them. I feel like we need that these days. Truly empathy. Have to have a pure heart. I feel like pureness is
Yeah, but
God.
that's the way. Like that's the reason why the world is the way it is right now. Because people have turned cold towards one another, and that's actually in the Bible. And man will be cold to one another.
Oh yeah. Well, remember like what book that's in the Bible?
That's actually one of the in Revelations, I think.
Revelations.
Yeah. But that's like one of the signs that we're living in the end of times, where humans will turn against one another, and then when you try to preach the word of God, they say, oh, like you won't believe.
I feel like I agree with a lot of what you said, because like lack of empathy, the lying, the stealing, the irresponsibility that people have, it's very rampant now. People just don't give a crap about anybody else. Just do what they want.
Well,
it doesn't matter who they hurt.
Yeah, exactly. Well, we covered this in the other video where
I
said like before, like when I was like when I'm like sitting in traffic, or like when the light is like it just turns green and the guy behind you is already like
the guy like, who do you think you are?
like as soon as the light turned green, the guy already is honking at you like, what the fuck? Like the light just turned green.
Yeah, no patience.
Yeah. Or like there's somebody crossing and like they'll honk. I'm like, you want me to run this person over?
Yeah.
But even that, the experience is like, I go work in bus. And the bus, like it stops like, in let's say through like a few cities, including Secaucus. Secaucus has Walmart, also like Sam's Club. And like let's say you see a woman who's older lady, a senior citizen who's struggling with her bag, or her cart. People sit there on their phones and just pretend they don't see her. While her, help you out with this. Put it on for you on the bus, and you can sit in my seat while I stand up for you. That happened to me that day. I actually did that for a lady because I was like, see anybody here sitting down, just text.
Everybody else is just like not paying attention.
And don't care no more, or have empathy or love.
Because everybody's kind of
there's respect for also senior citizens. Like I grew up in a household like you. Talk about saying your adults, you're getting whipped, smacked, punched, because you can't do that to someone older. Show respect. And down, you see that every single day on the bus route. So someone who's struggling with something, older person, or some handicapped person, no one even pays no mind anymore. They're focused on just the one screen. That's their phone.
Yeah.
And social media, and that's like going to like be rotting their minds, So
I feel like a lot of because of phones and social media and everything. We become a lot more disconnected.
It has.
So that kind of leads to the lack of empathy and sympathy. Like, whatever. I'm on my phone. Who cares?
Yes.
And nobody else is doing anything, so why should I do anything?
Right.
So
exactly.
That's how society is right now.
Also, it's like how they're raised nowadays. It's just different nowadays. How they raise these kids.
Oh yeah, especially the Gen Z.
Oh yeah.
With like 5-year-olds with the phones and tablets.
Yeah.
It's fucking crazy. Like I'm looking like at parent like people giving parents to like fucking like 5-year-olds and phones. I'm like I didn't have a phone until like I was like in high school.
Yeah.
Like,
same here.
Like
the freaking flip phone, the sidekicks.
Yeah. That's what we had.
For real.
Dude, like when I was coaching soccer last summer, like I had 7-year-old kid with a phone. I was like, and everybody else was sitting around him like, oh, you have a phone? And then the girls and one of the girls was like, oh, I want a phone. I want to get a phone. And he's like, yeah, I have a phone. And I was just like, damn, that's crazy. Like that these kids like they have
access to technology so young now.
Yeah, right. And that leads to like lack of like exercise, so they get unhealthy. They get more like overweight because they're not focused on exercising themselves. Like physically and mentally or spiritually. So they just sit there all day just on their phones, their eyes, let's just focus on that. That's
So-
what it just rounds their minds, you know.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
It's
Like that's the seed right there. It's gonna round your mind.
Mhm.
That's what I'm saying. Like the next generation is going to be fucked because they're going to be so dependent on technology. They're going to be worse than the people that you see on the phones.
Yeah. You're gonna depend on technology
And
for
now
everything.
you got those the Apple virtual headset.
The Apple Vision Pro.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and that actually looks
I don't know if
and that's
that
actually
is either.
that's actually scary, dude. Because I saw like a video, that actually it makes it seem like you have like the eyes,
Yeah, it has a
like a virtual eyes or something.
it has virtual eyes. Yeah.
Yeah,
Like
Yeah,
so
to
when
make it
pe-
seem
when
like- to
people walk in the room and you're wearing it makes it look like you're looking at them.
yeah,
But it's not real though. 'Cause your
yeah.
eyes are
It's
covered.
virtual eyes.
Yeah.
That's crazy. You know what?
That's scary.
I
It
stick
is
to my old school headphones with the wires. I don't mind that.
No more new school stuff.
Now I'm good, bro. Keep
No
old
virtual
school.
reality,
Keep
nothing.
old fashioned, bro. Old fashioned. That's it.
Nah, dude, that's what I'm saying. Like these kids are gonna throw us off into like the virtual reality, like for
The
there's some-
metaverse.
Yeah, exactly, the metaverse.
Metaverse.
Yeah.
I want no part of that shit.
Mark Zuckerberg is gonna take you to the metaverse.
No.
Yeah,
I'm a Johnny Five. I'm a Johnny Five. Fucking Mark Zuckerberg. any robotic shit that comes near me, I'm a fucking Johnny Five. The shit out of that thing.
Johnny Five.
For the common folk out there, what does Johnny Five mean?
Bro, have you ever seen the movie Johnny Five?
Yes.
Yeah,
Or
I
people
mean,
don't know.
I mean, what's the movie called? Something Circuit. You know, have you seen the movie? Have you seen the movie Johnny Five? You know the when the old man he fucking beats the shit out of Johnny Five and he's like, "Ah!" like they fucking destroy him with like fucking like metal rods and shit.
Yeah.
Remember that?
Oh my
Now
God.
that's what I'm gonna do with any fucking AI shit that tries to come near me.
No,
I'm gonna Johnny Five the shit out of that any robotic. None of that fucking sex doll shit, like robotic shit, or none of that fucking. None of
Yeah,
those.
you can't replace porn with sex dolls, Randy.
Exactly. Bro, but that's the next thing now. Now they're making the AIs. Have you seen that?
What?
Like the videos that they have of like the testing like the AI robots,
No, I haven't seen it.
where they demonstrated like a video and like they asked the lady like they're like, oh so are you here to hurt humanity? And she's like I have no reason to hurt humanity. I believe we're here to get along with each other. It's like a robotic head, but like they're asking her questions.
I think I seen something similar to that. Yeah.
Yeah,
A few years ago. I'm sure that's probably like a new one or something.
yeah. It's
Are
like,
you scared of AI, Randy?
I'm not scared of AI. I just don't want anything to do with AI.
I mean, I'm not scared yet.
I'm not scared of it. I just bro, I just know that if anyone tries to force that shit on me, I'm gonna try to the hell out of that shit. Wapa! Destroy that shit.
I guess we'll see in a few years. How do you feel, Chris, about AI and like robots and like the future of technology?
Oof, man. I mean, I'm old fashioned, but
Mhm.
when it comes to that stuff, I try to like stay away from like any AI programs.
Because your phone is AI.
It is, but we need it because to actually do a phone calls and text each other.
Yeah.
I mean, I started showing you a picture of your house, Randy.
The what?
A picture with letters his house. Old school, real old school.
Like Assassin's Creed style.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean, I don't know. I guess eventually we have to just accept it. But like he said, like anything that's gonna come near him,
You feel the same way?
I won't try and fight it. But I definitely just
You won't welcome it,
like I would just say pass by, like
Yeah.
okay, cool. That's what it is. You know what I mean? I
Mhm.
want to acknowledge it to the point, and that's to get to the extreme. And then
Right.
like our robot.
like a robot.
Yeah, that's okay. That's the time to get the shotguns out and everything going, and that's it. Going out on that thing, man.
Yeah.
That's it.
So in other words, you will Johnny Five it.
If it came to
at
it,
that
yeah.
point, yes, yes.
Like
exactly.
the robots from
iRobot.
like
Those-
they're actually like moving.
Oh, yeah.
They can,
Super fast
Yeah,
strength.
yeah.
That's it.
like oh shit.
That's it.
Yeah, if it comes to that.
Yeah. For some coding method, some coding. Just
Yeah.
disarm it,
Yeah.
satellite it. I don't know anything.
I mean, at one point, I mean, it's out of our control. Like the whole AI stuff.
Exactly.
It's just gonna keep advancing and advancing.
Right.
We just gotta keep an eye on it and just be cautious.
Cautious. Yeah.
I mean, for me, I love technology. Like that's one of my favorite things. Like I love computers, I love phones, everything. But I'm not extreme as Randy. I'll just be cautious, you know.
I mean, it's random. We expect, you know.
Yeah, it's Randy. Boy.
What are you
It's
talking
Randy
about?
boy.
Alberto. In essence, technology is the mark of the beast because eventually,
Here we go.
Here we go.
Alberto. Because in essence, Alberto, once you get that brain chip in your body and you're hooked up to technology, that's transhumanism right there. The transhumanism agenda is what I'm looking out for.
Like the Neuralink stuff.
Yeah.
And then the future versions of Neuralink, where they take up like half your brain and you can do pretty much anything.
Like when you're basically linked up to technology, like you basically have Wi-Fi in you. Your phone is inside your body.
You get a phone call, you just put your hand here.
Yeah.
Or like,
Like,
hello, yeah.
like I don't know if you've ever watched Futurama.
A few
Futurama,
episodes, yeah.
Futurama, like they've actually promoted that. Like there's like an episode where like they have like the iWatch, where like basically like they just click on like that, and then like you basically video chatting with someone, and it comes out of your eye.
Oh wow, like a projection.
Yeah, and also like commercials, like they're advertising in your head. Like so instead of dreams,
Really?
instead of regular dreams, you have a commercial.
Oh my God, you imagine that?
Oh, I can't. What the hell's going on?
But I feel like you might, like, let's say 100 years from now, like what technology is gonna be, like we can't stop it. We have to, at some point we're gonna have to embrace it.
No, I'm not gonna embrace it.
Well, you're not gonna be alive by then. It's 100
Okay.
years.
100 years, Alberto.
Yeah, or like 1,000 years. Like imagine how technology is gonna
Oh, yeah.
be.
It's
Like
like,
2,000
well,
years.
it's like the
Well,
cartoons
Alberto, we don't know if planet Earth is gonna be here 2,000 years from now.
I'm saying, assuming that we don't kill ourselves with nukes or something.
Well,
We'll survive 2,000
What
years.
I'm talking about because of the planet too. Like, who
Oh, the
knows?
planet too, yeah.
I'm saying like because remember,
But we could develop technology to save the planet. Who knows?
well, remember Elon Musk, he wants to move to Mars.
Oh yeah, that too. We could go to a different planet, colonize the solar system.
You ready?
Yeah,
What do you think?
What do you think about that? Colonizing the solar system in a few thousand years.
Who knows?
Will you be against it, or you be like, all right, let's see?
Alberto, I'm not gonna be here in 1,000 years, so I don't know.
You know what I'm saying, like for your future generations,
What?
will you be okay with them going to a different planet, like starting life?
Depends on how the world is during then. Like if it's like a full communist government or something. Like
Yeah, I don't know how it would work.
Yeah.
We're very far from that. Like it's not gonna happen in our lifetime.
Come as of of the cartoons, Superman and Brainiac.
Oh yeah, true. Yeah.
It comes down to supposed to be over about to
Robots.
Brainiac. We doing?
Robots.
So Randy, you're like pretty much against technology, like as a whole.
I'm against technology when it comes to putting technology inside your body.
That's your limit. But besides that, like the Apple thing, like it's your choice if you want to do it or not.
I don't like that either. The whole virtual reality shit, because then that you're basically conditioning people to get used to that. Like then pretty people are gonna get lazy. They're not gonna want to go outside because like basically with the whole virtual reality thing, like it basically simulates being outside too. Because like I seen like videos of it where like the lady she's like she puts on the headset and she's like wow, and she's like and it looks like she's outside and she's like looking at a mountain.
Yeah, because it's super expensive. It's $3,500. Yeah, you haven't heard about it, right, Chris? It's $3,500, and it makes it look super real, like everything. Like you could.
It's
be
basically
outside,
it makes
you
it
could
look
be in
like
space.
it makes it look like you're outside.
100% real.
Really?
Yeah. Now it's cool. Like imagine being able to watch a movie and being inside the movie and everything.
Yeah.
But just like the dangers with the phones, like people might become addicted.
Right.
So
Right.
it's at the end of the day, it's personal.
Not only
responsibility.
not only
I guess,
that,
like,
but also I
self-control.
think
Exactly.
not only that, but I still got the dangers of it having on your eyes because you're so close. It's like you're like
Yeah.
literally it's like right here.
Yeah.
So like and then also like I'm sure like the longer you have it on, like it's gonna burn because it's a lithium battery, right?
I was reading like about the whole the being close to the eye. Like they developed some technology, so like it's sort of like you're looking far away, but you're not really because it's right next to your eyes or something like that. Like it won't cause eye strain. It won't cause like damage to your eyes. That's what I heard. But we'll see. We'll see what happens.
But you also got to think about the radiation from the battery because the batteries have
yeah.
radiation. So that's
No,
gonna cause,
but the battery is not gonna be in the headset. It's gonna be like a cable going running down to your pocket. So it's not gonna be in the because they thought about that. Like, oh, like what if the battery's like right on your head? So
That sounds like a cyborg.
yeah.
Yeah, but I don't know. Like I just feel like, well, I mean,
Teen
my thing is like,
Titans.
also like, I think the longer you have that, the longer you have it on, like it's probably you're probably gonna feel like the heat on your face, right? From
Probably, yeah, from like the
and
processor.
I'm
and stuff.
assuming I'm assuming you still feel some radiation, like because even if the battery is down here, it's still gonna go up to the headset because it's being powered. So
Yeah.
I mean I'm pretty sure that's gonna cause health issues too, where people might develop cancer and shit like that.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens.
That's true.
We will see what happens.
So
Alright,
that's what I'm saying. Like the next generation is fucked because they're gonna be raised in technology. Everything's gonna be like pretty soon. Like
Yeah, because the headset is huge right now, the one that Apple has. But like 20, 30 years is gonna be like glasses.
yeah.
Probably.
I wouldn't.
Yeah.
Or contacts.
I wouldn't say.
Contacts.
I don't think it's gonna take that long for them to minimize that.
I think so.
Alberto, look, Alberto. How's it like every 2 years they fucking come out with like a slimmer version of the consoles, right? They have the PlayStation 5, then they have the slim version. So they slim down every few years. They slim down. So I'm pretty sure before you know it, they're gonna slim this down. It's gonna be smaller.
Yeah, it's gonna be smaller. I'm saying like glasses that you wear. It's not gonna be like that for like 20, 30 years.
Alberto,
It'll have to include battery. and
Alberto,
everything.
Alberto, we already have the technology
Bro,
already.
but that shit already came out already.
Yeah.
No, but I'm talking. I told you about the fidelity of like how clear everything looks.
Oh yeah,
It's not gonna look that clear in the glasses in 5 or 10 years
I know.
You
with
don't
the
know that.
battery and everything.
Alberto, you don't know. Alberto, look at the technology they have already now. That's already disposable now. With the way things are, I'm pretty sure they can find a way to fucking fix that and make it
Not
clear.
for 10 years.
Alberto, yes, Alberto, yes,
No, I know.
yes, Alberto, yes,
It's not gonna happen.
yes, Alberto, yes,
Guaranteed.
Alberto, I saw a video. Right?
Guaranteed.
I saw a video where these people pushing the fucking microchip, right? They were basically saying that the lady she was did a presentation of it, and she's like, she's like imagine having this brain chip inside of you, she said, and then she said, imagine you being able to know what the other person say you're working right, and then imagine being able to think to know what the other person is thinking. Imagine being able to know what the other person's thinking, your coworker.
Oh, because they both have chips.
Yeah. So you're gonna be in sync.
Mm-hmm.
Baby, bye.
And then she's like, and then she said most people think that the technology is far away, but she's like, it's closer than you guys think. It's already here because we already have the technology to do it. So she's like, are you guys ready for this technology? She's like, the technology. Oh no, in a world where even your boss, he can read your thoughts. And she's like, let me paint the scenario for you. She's like, imagine, there's a female, right? And she has a crush on a coworker, but relationships are frowned upon in the workplace. And she's like, and you're scared that your boss, she's gonna find out because she can read your thoughts.
What the hell?
So she's like, this reality is closer than you guys think. She's like, because we have the technology to make it happen, right? We have the technology.
That's just crazy. Yeah, that's
It's already here. She's like, most people think that it's not gonna it's like 20, 30 years away. She's like, she's like, this is here. She's like, the only question is are people ready for it? She's like, so do you guys think you guys are ready for it? And everybody's like, yeah. And I'm like,
what video was that?
there's a video that I saw on YouTube about it.
It's not like a parody or
No, it's not. No, it's an actual It's like an actual presentation that the lady had. She had like a PowerPoint presentation, and she was showing the video.
Wow, that's just crazy.
It is.
Damn. You gotta stay strong and with God, boys, because there's tough times ahead.
That's right.
It is. Alberto, so I'm saying that Alberto, that technology, Alberto, is coming soon. It's not 20, 30 years away. That's just happening soon, Alberto.
Oh,
I thank you guys for watching. You can find our podcast on YouTube, on podcasts like Spotify, Apple, and Google. And we'll see you guys next week. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Dios.